हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप सभी। पीवाईक्यू सॉल्व हो गए हैं जब से मैं आई थिंक डेली न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस ले रही हूँ। आई बीन टेलिंग दिस फ्रॉम डे वन दैट कीप लुकिंग एट योर पीवाईक्यूज। आई होप यू हैव सॉल्व्ड इट बाय नाउ। सम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स वर आस्किंग कि मैम पीवाईक्यूज क्या सब्जेक्ट्स का जो बेसिक बुक्स हैं एनसीईआरटी हैं या स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स हैं उनको पढ़ने से पहले ही सॉल्व करना है। Look, do not wait for the subjects to be get completed. Keep solving PYQs, learn through PYQs, take PYQs as a source of information and to understand the nerve of the examination for which you are preparing. So if you have solved your prelims previous year question paper up till now, you will be able to grasp the things better whenever you take up that particular subject, and you will understand what to read, where to emphasize, what to skip, all these things. Okay, that is why I am telling, keep solving PYQs even if you have not done that subject in your class, in your institute, wherever you are reading, or on your own as well. All right, and the second thing is that you should be remembering your syllabus by heart so that you know whenever you're reading newspaper, the articles you can correlate with that particular syllabus and accordingly you can cover that. And third thing is that keep solving some of the practice questions based on the articles and whatever you read from the newspaper so that you can digest them well. Okay, so with this little reminder which I try to give you every day, let's take up the first article, and that is the Finance Commission and Public Finance in Kerala. This article will belong to your paper GS paper 3, and this article is not a new one. If you have gone through the previous daily newspaper analysis, when this news came up that Kerala government reached the court and it has raised the concern that the financial devolution from the center to the Kerala government is not up to the mark, and the center has replied with its own allegations toward the state government of the Kerala. And that time, during that day of the particular issue which was in news, we did discuss in detail the Finance Commission and the criteria of devolution of the finances from center to state, and what are the criteria and what has been recommended by 15th Finance Commission. Also, in this very first paragraph of this article, the article mentions that the 16th Finance Commission has been constituted. That we did look at in previous discussions. So it's almost a repetition of whatever we had gone through. I hope you have been watching daily newspaper analysis of earlier dates, and you have covered this particular issue from that day's discussion. Let's take up this article once again, and so that you can maybe revise. Okay, so summary of the article के form में ही लेंगे. We won't take it in detail. So in the article, there is a mention of asymmetric fiscal rules and Kerala's legal challenge. So what is the asymmetric rule? The recent development in India's public finance. Just a minute, let me take the pen. So it says that the recent development in India's public finance scene include the constitution of 16th Finance Commission or 16th Union Finance Commission. Finance Commission किस article में है? 280, ठीक है? And Kerala's lawsuit against the center's net borrowing ceiling. These events echo the call for asymmetric fiscal rules concerning deficits and debts in Kerala. In the India, Kerala with high outstanding liabilities. So what is the problem with Kerala? It has high outstanding liabilities. Are used for wider discussion on this issue due to its significant impact on center-state financial relations. Then other thing which has been discussed is public debt and revenue source in Kerala. So what is the public debt of Kerala? Kerala's public debt stands at 36.9% of GDP, or as per this budget estimate. Kitna, and rollover risk is not significant concern due to around 60% debt with maturity within 25. तो rollover जो risk है, मतलब जो केरला का ये public debt है, that will get completed with 16% जो है debt वो maturity period 2025 में ही है, तो इसका rollover risk बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. Kerala's fiscal marksmanship ratio for tax to revenue is only 57%, and the corresponding figure for GST is 56%. The state's revenue stability relies heavily on own tax revenue, that is 48%, and own non-tax revenue 12%. तो ये इनका tax share है. Own tax revenue कितना है केरल गवर्नमेंट का? Source 48%, and non-tax revenue का जो source है that is 12% of the Kerala state itself. there is a volatility in intergovernmental fiscal transfers and the and debate on equity versus efficiency. So there is this discussion on this fiscal policy, sustainable economic development in Kerala. Then in this instance, the Kerala government has expressed concern over volatility in intergovernmental fiscal transfer. तो बोल रहा है कि जो fiscal transfer है to the state government, this is quite volatile and Kerala government has raised an issue over it. Over the years, Kerala share of finance commission transfers has declined हुआ है from 14 to 15 and now let's see what happens in 16 finance commission. This debate revolves around the equity versus efficiency principle. तो equity होनी चाहिए कि बराबर सारे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को बराबर शेयर मिलना चाहिए या एफिशिएंसी की बेसिस पे मिलना चाहिए, मतलब whether the government could be able to curtail on the population and other criteria based on which the fiscal devolutions are done. With the distance of per capita income criteria negatively impacting growing states like Kerala. So all these things are mentioned in this paragraph. Then fiscal policy and sustainable economic development in Kerala. To ensure fiscal sustainable economic development, Kerala must focus on increasing its tax effort. तो solutions को दिया tax effort बढ़ाने चाहिए by strengthening digital infrastructure in public finance. So this is one of the solution which has been mentioned by the article. Continuity of the food security measures is crucial during crisis. Second, and fiscal policy plays a role in containing the inflation. Third, the state must invest. Fourth, क्या होना चाहिए? State must invest in a green, resilient and knowledge-based economy. Negotiate with 16 Finance Commission for specific purpose transfers and emphasize on fiscal marksmanship for budget credibility. So this is a way ahead for Kerala government concern which has been mentioned in this article. Okay. So this is the broadly what it has been discussed in the article. Now, what are the constitutional provisions through which states borrowing is regulated in India? That is what I wanted you to look at through article 293. So state borrowing जो है इंडिया में how it is regulated through article 293. Then 7th schedule also, FRBM Act 2003, Finance Commission. So these are the criteria based on which the state borrowings in India is regulated. And other is State Fiscal Responsibility Act, role of the center is there. So how, let's read that, how article 293 influences. It grants fiscal autonomy to states, allowing them to borrow only from within the territory of India on guarantee from consolidated fund of the state. So they can only borrow from within the territory of India and that should be guaranteed by based on consolidated fund of the state. 7th schedule क्या कहता है? Fiscal matters are delineated in the 7th schedule of the constitution with public debt of the state falling under state list. तो public debt किसमें fall होता है? That falls in the state list, giving state exclusive jurisdiction over this matter. तो states को exclusive jurisdiction होता है upon its public debt. And then FRBM Act 2003 क्या कहता है? On the state borrowing, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act was enacted to ensure intergenerational equity in fiscal management. It sets limit on the fiscal deficit and borrowing for both the center and state. तो FRBM क्या करता है? Set करता है limit, ठीक है, on how much fiscal deficit center or how much it can borrow both the center and state के लिए. Finance Commission it periodically makes recommendation regarding fiscal matters. तो Finance Commission जो होता है periodically it just recommends, recommendatory body है, ठीक है, recommends fiscal matters including borrowing limits for the state. So borrowing limits for the state is crucial for determining the borrowing ceilings for the states, taking into account factors such as economic conditions, fiscal health and developmental needs. तो borrowing limit for the state के लिए finance commission जो है वो recommendation देता है timely, regularly and on the basis of periodic measures. State Fiscal Responsibility Act क्या कहता है? Then we have State Fiscal Responsibility Act as well. It said that each state may have its own Fiscal Responsibility Act. तो हर state अपना खुद का Fiscal Responsibility Act ले सकता है, which further defines the limits and guidelines for borrowing and fiscal management. और यही reason है क्योंकि बहुत सारा regulation और बहुत सारा confusion हो जाता है because there are many acts under which क्या है, कौन सा state जो है किस act के अंदर डिटरमिन करेगा ऑल दीज मैटर्स ऑफ फिजिकल limits etc. Role of center क्या है? It plays a significant role in overseeing fiscal matters, including approving borrowing limits for the states based on recommendation from bodies like Finance Commission. तो ये state का role है. इस center का, it can influence the state borrowing limits through legislative changes. So how center can influence the state's borrowing? How? It can make legislations, it can amend the existing laws like FRBM, or by exercising discretion भी, or in granting additional funds or relaxing borrowing constraints in exceptional circumstances. तो इस तरीके से all these things are there through which center can influence states borrowing, है ना. तो ये है states कैसे state borrowing influence होती है इंडिया में. Then let's look at some of the questions. These are the prelims questions which has already been asked in UPSC. तो एक question जो है आप देखिए, fiscal responsibility, there are the three statements which has been mentioned. Is asking about which of the one are correct. तो पहला statement जो है, it says that the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act Review Committee report has recommended a debt to GDP ratio of 60% for general government by 2023 comprising 40%. देखो ये question अब आपके लिए important नहीं है, this was based on the current affairs, लेकिन आप देख सकते हो how UPSC prepares questions. The central government has domestic liability of 20% GDP as compared to that of this much GDP of the state government. As per the Constitution of India, it is mandatory for state to take the central government's consent for raising any loan if the former owes any outstanding liability to the latter. तो 1 and 3 सही है, लेकिन second statement गलत है. तो 1 and 3 सही है, and this is important even today for you to know that Constitution of India has mandated that state will take central government's consent अगर उसको स्टेट को रेज करना हो लोन, द फॉर्मर ओज एनी आउटस्टैंडिंग लायबिलिटी टू द लेटर. अगर स्टेट जो है सेंटर की तरफ कोई लायबिलिटी ओ करती है तो सेंटर हैज टू टेक परमिशन एंड द कंसेंट फ्रॉम द सेंटर इफ इट हैज टू टेक और रेज लोन्स. ठीक है, तो दिस स्टैंड्स ट्रू, दिस इज अ फैक्ट विच यू शुड रिमेंबर. फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड सही है, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग. दैट इज हाउ सी इज द राइट आंसर फॉर क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. अब सेकेंड क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन इट वाज आस्क्ड इन 2023. इट इज अबाउट 15th फाइनेंस कमीशन. तो नाउ यू विल बी हैविंग 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन, है ना. तो आप समझ सकते हो कि यूपीएससी जो है फाइनेंस कमीशन पे भी क्वेश्चन पूछती है, बिकॉज यू हैव 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन. नाउ यू हैव टू नो अबाउट 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन. दिस वाज आस्क्ड इन 2023 of 15th Finance Commission. For the horizontal tax devolution, 15th Finance Commission used how many of the above as criteria other than population, area and income distance. तो इस पे आर्टिकल एक बार आया भी था काफी डिटेल में जब केरला स्टेट गवर्नमेंट रेज दी कोर्ट फॉर इट्स कंसर्न्स रेज्ड एंड हाउ सेंटर हैज रिस्पॉन्डेड. वी डिड ऑल द क्राइटेरिया. तो इसमें राइट आंसर क्या है? राइट आंसर इज बी ऑप्शन, ओनली 3. एंड देन यू कैन see how many of the you have to find out इसमें कौन कौन सा जो है क्राइटेरिया. आप यहाँ से एक्सप्लेनेशन में पढ़ सकते हैं. सेंसस 2011 पॉपुलेशन का भी रेफरेंस है इसमें. तो इस तरीके से यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछता है बेस्ड ऑन दिस टॉपिक. 16th फाइनेंस कमीशन भी आपको इसी तरीके से पढ़ना होगा. ठीक है. रेलिवेंस, अगर इस आर्टिकल का रेलिवेंस समझने की कोशिश करें तो जीएस पेपर 2 में इसका रेलिवेंस है. मेंस क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इन 2013 देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन डिस्कस द रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ 13th फाइनेंस कमीशन एंड 2021 में 14th फाइनेंस कमीशन के बारे में पूछा गया. तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द रेलिवेंस ऑफ फाइनेंस कमीशन. द फाइनेंस कमीशन आर रिपीटेडली आस्क्ड इन मेंस एज वेल. ठीक है, तो रेलिवेंस रिकमेंडेशन 13 कमीशन का और रिकमेंडेशन 14 कमीशन का 2013-2021 का क्वेश्चन है. So who knows in 2024-2025 whoever students are preparing for you, this kind of questions are very much probable to appear in mains. So keep an eye on 16th Finance Commission whenever it comes up with recommendation in detail. Then the second article that is there is based on GI tag. Recently, this is the largest ever number of products which has been given GI tag in India. What are those numbers? Let's look at that. So 6 traditional crafts from Assam: Ashari, Kandi, terracotta craft, Pani, Metika craft, Sarthebari metal craft, Japi, Mishing handloom products and Bihu dhol. These are GI tag which has been given in Assam. Then Bodo Dhokona, then Bodo Siri Eri silk. This one is important. Bodo, which has caught the attention because of the peculiar nature of information about it. Let's look at it. Bodo eri silk, referred to as fabric of peace. Fabric of peace पूछ सकता है. Which of the following is referred to as fabric of peace? आपके न्यूज़पेपर में भी आया हुआ है. और अहिंसा, fabric of अहिंसा और fabric of peace. Now, which comes from silkworm Samia racini that feeds mostly on the leaves of castor plant and cassava. ठीक है, तो बोडो एरी सिल्क को फैब्रिक ऑफ पीस बोलते हैं, एंड दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट फॉर पीटी. नेक्स्ट, बोडो जिमगरा एंड देन बोडो गामसा, बोडो थोरखा एंड बोडो सिफुंग, हाउएवर यू प्रोनाउंस इट. दीज आर दी फ्रॉम असम. ठीक है, एंड देन द फेमस बनारस ठंडाई. पिया होगा बहुत सारे लोगों ने, जो वहाँ पे एक गदौलिया चौराहा है जहाँ पे ये मिलता है. when you head back from the main market to the Kashi Vishwanath temple, you can see many stalls selling this thandai. This is a drink made by blending milk with mix of nuts, seeds and spices. Also got the tag. ठीक है, तो बनारस का thandai has got the tag. And then next thing, what are the other ones from the Banaras? बनारस तबला, बनारस शहनाई, बनारस भरवा लाल मिर्च. तो बनारस भरवा लाल मिर्च भी भाई इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, बनारस लाल पेड़ा आर अमंग द प्रोडक्ट्स दैट वॉक्ड अवे विद जीआई टैग्स इन दिस रीजन. ठीक है, द नेक्स्ट इज त्रिपुरा. त्रिपुरा में रीजन 2 टैग मिला है. कौन कौन सा? पांचरा रिग्नई एंड माताबारी पेड़ा. ठीक है, दीज आर स्वीट प्रिपरेशन. मेघालय गारो टेक्सटाइल वीविंग विच इज लाइंग टू सोशो कल्चरल एंड रिलीजियस रिचुअल्स. कौन सा? मेघालय गारो टेक्सटाइल, सोशो रिलीजियस एंड रिलीजियस रिचुअल्स. मेघालय लिरनाई पॉटरी एंड देन मेघालय चुबिची. ठीक है, these are the other products which got the GI tag. Now let's look at the previous year question paper. What kind of questions UPSC has asked on GI tags? So which of the following has been accorded geographical indication status? 2015 में पूछा गया था ये क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, तो इतना सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है इस ईयर के लिए. मैं ये क्वेश्चन सिर्फ इसलिए आपको दिखा रही हूँ कि यूपीएससी 2015 में ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछा हुआ है कि which of the products has been granted GI. So again this article was important for you, especially the fabric of the piece. It is some kind of peculiar information. Peculiar information is the fodder for question. Then in 2018, India enacted Geographical Indications of Goods Act 1999 in order to comply with the obligations of WTO. So such kind of questions UPSC asks on such kind of articles. ठीक है, and then practice question, मैंने कुछ practice question भी दिए हुए हैं based on this article. Which of the following products had been granted the GI? तो for the GI tag for the first time, बनारस ठंडाई, बोडो खोना, बिहू ढोल, पचरा रिंगनाई. तो ये सब options में which state has the highest number of products granted GI tags? तो Assam had the highest number of products which has been granted the GI tag. Then next question, what is the significance of Bodo eri silk which has been granted the GI tag? Bodo eri silk के बारे में हम देखा. It's a fabric of peace. It is a fabric made from silkworm Samia ricini that feeds mostly on the leaves of the castor plant, Ricini communis and cassava, that we already saw. Straightforward question, which of the following products has been granted the GI tag for its cultural significance? It was Bodo Dokona. ठीक है, then fifth question, which state has secured 2 GI tags in this batch? So it was Tripura that we already saw in the article. So these were the 2 important articles for today's newspaper of The Hindu, and that concludes our discussion of daily newspaper analysis for today. I'll see you in next discussion, that is tomorrow. Till then, keep reading. All the best and Tathastu.